It's bad and it's naughty.
Alright. Alright, yeah. Hello, I'm John. This is John. And we're gonna look at doing another Python project this week. So hopefully you guys have been following along and doing some Python, but if you haven't, maybe take the opportunity to go back to the channel and have a look at the earlier sessions we've done, because things start to get tricky as you progress. So let's start off. We're going to be doing something called modern art, which runs on a Python library called Turtle. Let's get that up. So we're going to go to Google.
Oh, I've seen that.
Well, we did some Turtle before, didn't we? So we just Google.
I've never done Turtle. I've only looked at it on the Trinket website.
Was it you? You or Ben that did the?
I think it was Ben. I just made a line with it.
Alright.
Because I just had a little look at it when I was messing with some Python.
Okay, well we can have a look. So, go to Raspberry Pi projects. Just Google it. First link that comes up. Now, anyone who's watching this, I'm going to be honest, I'm not great with Python. I've done stuff in the club, but I'm learning as well, so hopefully we'll get through it. Okay, so click on the code called projects. Johnny, watch the screen.
This chair's funny.
Alright, so we're going to click on module 2, and the first project that comes up is modern art.
Are we already on module 2?
Well, I think we did 4 out of the 6 projects. I've just been picking ones that I like the look of. Hopefully we've not missed too much. Yeah, so the idea is that we're going to use the Turtle library to make some random patterns, and I think Raspberry Pi have called it modern art because they're making that comparison with what modern art is. But I really like the idea of using Turtle. Alright, so yeah, this is what it's going to look like. As always, stop squeaking the chair, mate.
Okay.
So as always, they give us a preview of what it's going to look like when we finish. So we'll work through. Alright, so we're going to be using something called Trinket. You yawning? Need to go to bed earlier. Alright, so Trinket is a free IDE. There is a paid for version, but don't worry, just stick to the free one. That's all we really need. So, we've clicked on this link at the top of the project, jump2.cc/modern-go, and that loads kind of a base bit of code up in Trinket. So this, do you know what the hash is for, John?
That's to make a comment.
Comment.
It means that the code won't read it as code.
So it just skips over it. It's a comment. It's for informational purposes only. Do you know what this line does? From turtle import asterisk.
Does that import a turtle?
So it's saying import. So we're importing a library called Turtle Library, and a library is just like a set of predefined code functions. So we're importing that library, and it's saying the asterisk means import everything from that library, because I think we can just import partial parts of the library as well if we define them. Alright, so open this Trinket. So we're going to be setting random colours. You can set the colour of a turtle by saying how much red, green and blue you want from 0 to 255. Alright, so
I always thought that the primary colours were red, yellow and blue.
It's not primary colours though, is it? RGB is just the values. I think it's derived from television, RGB. So images on a screen are made up of RGB values, I think. Alright, so add the following code to get a purple turtle. So John, you're going to do it. So
what we're going to do is we're going to go I've never used this before. We're going to go shape, and I think it said we need to use, like when we're doing normal Python, we have to use the brackets.
It is normal Python, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's slightly different because we're doing shapes and the stuff, and yeah. So we're doing the shape.
Alright, so you're saying shape, and you're telling it that the shape that you're using is turtle. Go on. Alright, so next line.
Okay, just go that. Then we're gonna set the colour to 150, 0, 150.
So what do you think each of those? Why is there 3 values there?
Red, green, blue.
Red, green, and
RGB,
blue.
red, green, blue.
So red is 150. Green is 150, and blue is 100. Sorry, red is 150, green is 0, and blue is 150, and that makes purple. So go on, do that.
So go.
Colour.
Which way do you spell it?
I think it's OU. Yeah, the correct way of spelling it. Open brackets. Put your first. Awesome. So now we should be able to run it. Go on, run that. Oh no! Alright, should we run it again? There you go. So, we've now got a purple turtle on the screen. So these shapes are predefined. I think if we were to Google what the shapes are in the turtle library, it would tell us, but I think circle's one of them. Yeah.
You try square or...
Try square. Yeah.
Rectangle?
So is star one? No. No, star's not one.
Star turns into an arrow.
Yeah, I think that's just the default. So if we were to leave it blank and click run, like the arrow is just the default. So, set it back to turtle because that's what is in the project. So there you go. So we're importing the turtle library. From turtle, import all. We're setting the shape as turtle, and then we're setting the colour value using RGB. Yeah. Alright, so purple is made by mixing together red and blue, because obviously green is set to 0. Alright, there's a bit in the project that talks about an error. Now, we're not encountering an error. I don't know why that is. They expect us to encounter one, but we're not, so we're just going to continue. Try some different numbers to get different colours. So,
you need to add a from random.
How do you think, what would you use to get yellow, do you think?
So yellow, so we've got red, green and blue. You can't really get yellow because yellow is a primary colour that you can't get with any other colours.
So if we do RGB value yellow, so that would be
255, 2550.
Alright, should we do that then? So we're gonna, so this isn't the project, we're just having a look. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna comment that out because we'll come back to it in a minute. So we're gonna comment it by just putting a hash at the beginning. What we've done is we've highlighted it, press Control and C to copy, move it down a line, press Control and V.
So probably do with taking the numbers out before copying it.
Do you want to do yellow?
Okay, just let us copy this.
I think there's no need for you to do that, John.
So it was 255, 255, what was it?
0.
I don't see how you get yellow from.
Alright, well let's see.
Red and green.
Ah, it is, it's yellow. So red and green on a monitor is yellow.
Yeah, because that's monitor colours, but it's not like real life colours.
Alright, well, you know what? If you're programming, then you're going to be using a monitor, aren't you, mate? So.
I know.
Okay, so. Try some different numbers to get different colours. Remember, each number can be from 0 to 255. How about choosing a random colour? Update your code to choose a random colour.
So you need to add the random import.
So we are going to, so we'll do,
you have to import a library by doing the from random import to get
do,
a random
yeah.
to work.
So like John says, we need to import the random library. So from random,
You get rid of that.
yeah, and then we do red equals, what was it? Okay, so what does random mean?
It's random integer, which an integer is a whole number. So that means it doesn't have a decimal in it.
So all we're doing is we're telling the computer what type of value to expect. And we're saying expect a random whole number, randint. Red equals randint. And then we're saying that the values can be between anything between 0 and 255. So, is that right? Have we missed anything out there? That's fine. So we'll just type it out again for each. Red, green equals randint 0255. Go on, you type the last one. Type blue in.
So, wasn't it? Yeah,
Blue.
RGB.
Blue
Blue.
equals.
Okay. Oh. Random will go 0, 255. So they're all the same but with different colours.
You're right. Okay, and then we do colour.
I think it's going to be colour red, green, blue.
Red, green. There's not a space. Oh yeah, there is a space. Red, green, blue. Okay, so we've defined a range for red, green and blue, and then we're saying colour is a combination of red, green and blue. So now click run a few times to get different coloured turtles. So what colour turtle do you think you're going to get, John?
I don't know, I think something that you...
Green,
you let me
black,
funny green,
purple.
That was like a lilac and then that's a purple.
Alright, so that's fun, but it's a lot to remember and type every time you want to set a turtle to a random colour. And it's not very easy to read. In Python, we can write def to define a function that we call whenever we need to get a turtle to a random colour.
Oh.
You'll be calling functions already, colour and randint, because they're part of the library, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just
So colour
functions.
is part of the turtle library and randint is part of the random library. You're calling bits of ready-built code.
They're pre-made.
Ready-built functions, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's put the random colour code into a function using def. So def, so we're defining the function random colour. Alright, so okay, so we're going to do that over here. Go on. So def space open brackets.
Yep.
Sorry, no, it's not open brackets, is it? It's just
def
random
space
colour.
random colour
Random
open
colour.
brackets colon.
Random colour.
Did they put a space there?
No, it's all one word. American spelling of colour.
Colour.
Open brackets.
Open.
Yeah, and then no,
Oh, no,
you need
it
to
puts
you
us
put the colon
inside
after.
the bracket.
Yeah, all right. So,
Is that done right?
yeah. So, yeah, red.
Can't we just copy it from here?
Just go back and have a look and see if it's the same.
It's the same,
It's
so
the
we
same.
can just put...
Okay, so yeah, grab those. Grab lines 11, 12 and 14. You're not, I don't think you're grabbing line 40. 11, 12 and 13, but not 14.
So
Go back and look.
It should look
Oh, it
like
is. Alright. Okay.
that.
So one of the things that you need to do is you need to indent lines 7, 8 and 9.
So these should have like 2 spaces.
Okay, so you can either do it with a space or you can do it with the tab. I'd do the tab because it'll put the right amount of spacing in.
Okay, should I go back and do it with tab then?
No, it doesn't really matter. Alright. Why do you think it's indented?
So then it reads that as the bits.
It's like a child, isn't it? So line 6, you're defining the function, and then it shows that these lines belong to 6. I'll be honest, if you know a programmer, they would probably have a much better way of explaining that to you, but the relationship is the indented lines to me are always a child of the above line. And I think if we were to not put the indentation, then the code would actually break. You can try that in a minute. Okay, so make sure you indent the code inside the function. Functions are usually placed at the top of the script after imports. So what it's saying is that we'll always define our functions immediately after we import any libraries. Alright, so if you run your code now, you don't get a random colour turtle. Let's see.
Is it because we haven't put the function in? So you need to do the random colour things?
Yeah, that's because you have defined the function, but you have not called it. So we've defined the function up here, lines 6 to 10, but at no point do we call the function. So I think if we call the function here,
colour random colour.
Is that literally just random colour?
I think it would be colour random colour because then it's saying colour is
right,
random.
it's literally just random colour.
And then the open brackets. And just try running that. Just try running it.
Yeah, there you go. So we've called the function and it's calling this up here, so. Alright. Notice that your new code is much easier to understand because the complex part is the function. It's easy to work out what random colour does. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So we've done the hard work up here at the top by defining the function, and then we're just calling it with a single line of code. Alright, so go on, you do the next one, random place. So I guess we're going to define a function for random place.
So what it's saying is
just read it out off the screen.
It said, let's create another function to move the turtle to a random place on the screen. The centre of the screen is 0, 0. So we'll need to place turtles in a square area around the centre. I think isn't 0, 0 is the origin?
Yeah, so if we do X.
You've got your XY coordinates, which is your axes going up and across the page.
Should have my glasses on. X and Y coordinates. So it's just like that, isn't it?
Yeah, the axes going up and down the page.
Yeah. So what's the one going across?
So the X and then you've got the Y.
Okay, so the one going across is X. And the one going down is Y.
In math, you remember the way that you move when doing graphs by going along the corridor and up the stairs.
Okay.
Because you never go up the stairs directly from going in.
So it's X is along the corridor. And Y is up the stairs. Alright. And 0, in the middle is 0.
Which is the origin.
And then if we move right along the X, it's plus. If we move left across the X, it's minus. If we move up on the Y, it's plus. If we move down on the Y, it's minus. Alright, so what does it want us to do, John?
So it wants us to create a function.
So we're going to create a function called randomplace. So, go on.
So what we're going to do is, it's telling us that we need to do the X and the Y as a random integer.
Go on, just do it. Just do it.
So go do.
Alright. So you need to.
So do it is.
So def. No. You need to define def.
Def.
And you need to name it. So random place. Yeah.
And go.
Brackets.
Brackets.
Colon. Yeah.
And go.
It's automatically indented it, which
X
is good. Equals. Okay, space.
Equals. So we're going to do.
Randint.
We're going to do randint, and then we're going to do open brackets, and we're going to do 100.
That's wrong, isn't it?
That's what they've said to do. They've said to do 100, but you need a dash at the start.
You need to do minus 100.
Technically, we can just copy this now and change the Y.
You can.
Because they're going to be pretty much exactly the same. You just go Control V. So what I've done there is I've just done Control and C, then I've done Control and V.
Alright.
And I've just changed the letter at the start.
And then it does go to
X,
Y.
Go to open brackets X, Y. That's what it says, yeah. So now
you need to call the function.
So we're gonna go random
place. Brackets.
Because we put brackets in the function.
Alright, so go and run it.
So now it's drawing a line.
So do it again, and if it's working, it'll be in a different place, won't it?
Yeah. So now you can see it's going up and down and left and right, because that's the across is there, the up is there. Oh,
Alright, so
I realise they can't see that.
Try your new function by calling it, and then calling stamp. Try your new function by calling it and then calling stamp. You can call it more than once. Alright, and they've given us an example there, haven't they?
Oh, so then that's going to make it go like in a funny shape with the lines.
Yeah, possibly.
So then you just go stamp, stamp, stamp.
Yeah,
so
we just
put
go
stamp and then copy it.
Stamp.
Brackets, and then you can copy it if you want to.
And where is this function defined? We're calling the function stamp. Where's that coming from?
I think it's just from the either random or from turtle.
It's not going to be from random, is it?
It's going to be from turtle.
Yeah.
So stamp, I think it just means that it's copying it.
Alright, so it's telling us to do it multiple times, isn't it? So we're literally just going to highlight those 3 lines with control. So we've highlighted them, we've dragged the mouse over them, we've done Control and C to copy. We then move it down into an empty space and do Control and B to paste. We'll do it one more time. There you go. So it should move 3 times. So click run. Yeah.
That looks cool. And then we can just copy.
So we could copy all of the lines. So now it's doing it 6 times. So each time it's moving randomly.
It's then doing it again.
And it's doing a random colour, isn't it?
I think when it says stamp, I think that's then leaving a stamp of the turtle.
So that's what it's doing, is it each one of these turtles is a stamp. Alright, so
just generated by one turtle.
It says, oops, the turtle draws when it moves. Let's put the pen up at the beginning and down at the end so the turtle doesn't draw a line. So within the random place function, we're going to do at the beginning, we're going to do pen up and then we're going to do pen down. So
that's the second def down.
Yeah, so we do pen up and then we do Is that right? Is it at the end?
Yep. It's at the end. Not in the bracket, at the start of the bracket.
10 down.
I think that these are...
So now if we run it, we should see that, and it's stamping the turtle, but it's not drawing the lines in between.
Couldn't you technically put a loop in there, so
yeah.
then it just does it over and over?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do in a minute. We're going to put a loop in. So, did you notice that you only had to fix the code in one place? That's another good thing about functions. Alright, so because we've got the function that we're calling here, we've done pen up, pen down. So what it's saying is that if we were doing it at the most basic level, we would put the pen up and pen down within this part down at the bottom, lines 19 to 37. But because we've defined the function at the top that we're calling, called randomplace, we only have to
fix it once.
Yeah, we only have to fix it once.
So it's not as tedious.
Yeah,
you don't have to write it out over and over.
Alright, so... Alright, so what we can do, let's just quickly talk about putting a for loop in. So, as John mentioned, and it doesn't really talk about transitioning to a for loop in this project, but what we can do is if we move this down to a single line, sorry, a single set of rules, rather than having it repeating over and over again, what we can do is we can put a for loop in. What a for loop means is that we define the amount of times it's going to loop through the code. So in the example they've set it to 30, so it'll loop through the code 30 times. So if we do for, if we follow the example, we do I in range, and then in here, so if we were to do 5, it'll loop through 5 times. Oh, what have we done wrong? Bear with me.
No, that's the heading.
Ah.
That's the heading.
So it's not the heading, we haven't defined the heading. There's no function for the heading.
I thought that was the heading.
Alright, so, I just forgot the colon. So now if we do run, bear with me. Alright, I need to indent it. And this is what I was talking about before. The idea of indenting things. If we miss the indent out, it actually won't run the code. So now if we click run, so it's done it 5 times. So if we take the for loop and change it to...
like 20.
20, yep. Change it to 20. And we click run.
I'm going to do it 20 times.
We could there's probably a way of setting the speed as well, isn't there? But
that was quite fast though, and they look like splats if you look at them.
Yeah.
They looked like turtles before, but now they just look like splats of colour.
Alright, can you define a random heading function? So,
would that be like rotation?
We're gonna define the function up here. So, define random heading. So,
set these
when it's talking about heading, you could set them to letters, but that would be more difficult to determine what they were. By giving them a full name, there's no kind of mistaking what they are, is there? I think you're overthinking it, mate. I think that's fine. So, what the heading is, if you notice, the turtle is always
facing the...
what's that? Is that 90 degrees?
Yeah, that's 90 degrees if you start at the top.
So the heading of the turtle is always at 90 degrees. So what it's saying is that we want to change the heading of the turtle. So we've gone define, and then we've given the name of the function, random heading. Alright, indent. And what does it say? Can you define a random heading function that will make the turtle point in a random direction and make the following code work? So, it's not giving us the code, is it? It says hints, set heading number will change the direction the turtle is facing. So, what are we going to do? Set heading.
And then you put a number in.
So, the number's going to be anything between... So, I mean, if we... are we going to define?
You've got 360 degrees, so you go 0 to 360.
Alright, so it's going to be equals, isn't it?
Set heading equals open brackets
rand int open, so 0
to 360.
360.
That's 260.
It is. Good job you noticed. Now what else is there?
If you did it more than 360, it would spin.
It would. You should be between 1 and 360. So if we do...
I have 1 because then it'll never face upwards if you put 1 in. It'll never face directly upwards.
It says there though, doesn't it? 1 and 360. So it should be between 1 and 3. The number of degrees in a circle. You can use rand int 1 360 to choose the number. So I guess, is that it? Define function random heading. Set heading equals rand int 1 to 360. Do we then need to just call the function? So if we do random heading, do you think that'll work? Doesn't like something there, does it? Random? No. Random heading? What have we done wrong there? Missing a colon.
Yeah, you need to terminate it.
It's not doing it. What have we missed out? Define random heading. Set heading equals rand int, and then values between 1 and 360. And we're calling it.
I'm not sure. Let's see what the project says.
I think on each of these, what it's doing is we've defined the values, haven't we? So in the random colour, it says red, green, blue, and we've defined it. And then it calls it. And then with the place, it's gone go to X and Y. So what would this be here?
Rotate heading?
Don't think it tells us within the project. It doesn't, does it? What can we do? What would we Google if we're trying to work this out?
How to set heading in Turtle.
Okay. How to set heading in Python.
Turtle.
Python turtle directions. So
let's have a look, because that says that they're going to turn it. Does it have turn in there? Degrees.
So what would it be?
It's got degrees and then closed commas.
So it would be degrees and then set heading. Would that be it?
I don't know, try it.
No. It's not failing though, is it? It just doesn't...
Read it, because it doesn't make sense.
Have you done this in school?
No, we've only... for some reason, we started off on Python, just normal Python.
What if we were to
do... We were working through the Python handbook, and then we went on to Scratch, and there's Code Monkey, which is for coders.
Right, set heading. Oh. There you go. That's it. So we've done... So write is a command, and we could define a value, the degrees value there, but rather we're pulling in this value here, which is set to be in a random integer between 1 and 360.
But then it's turning right, so could you set that to left and it would go left?
It would, but we'll leave it as right. Cool, so we figured it out. So we've defined a function for random heading, which turns the turtle, and we've done set heading, random integer between 1 and 360, and then we're firing it by saying right, and then we're calling the value set heading, which sets it randomly between 1 and 360.
That's pretty successful.
Alright.
I think we're going to have a look at changing the size now. I
actually like it where it doesn't...
Does the line?
Yeah, I like it. So if we were to go and take the little n out, or we could actually just comment it, couldn't we?
Yeah, just comment it for now.
Comment it out, and let's see what that looks like. So run. I quite like it when it's doing the line. What do you think?
Because the line, yeah, it makes it look cool. Because it's like drawing a shape.
Yeah.
So it's not making just random splats, it's making a shape.
I think it is making random splats, isn't it? But it's making random lines as well. Alright, so we're 40 minutes in. Let's see how what else we can do. Alright, so create rectangle modern art. So now let's create some modern art by drawing lots of rectangles of different sizes and colours. First, add the following code to the bottom of your script after your challenge code to clear the screen after your turtle. So we're doing clear. Can you put clear in, John? So we're doing it at the bottom. Probably take the indent out, yeah. Clear brackets.
So that's a function that is pre-written into the turtle gallery.
Yeah, and it just clears the screen. So
yeah, it's doing its thing.
If you run it at the end, it should just wipe the screen out.
Give it a little bit of time. Maybe we should turn the amount of lines it does down.
Just leave it for now. Alright, there
and
you
then
go.
It clears it and just leave it.
So it cleared the screen. Okay.
I'm just going to set the shape to a rectangle.
First, add the following code to the bottom of your script. Alright, and then set heading. You can comment out your turtle art code by placing an asterisk at the beginning so that it doesn't run while you're working on the rectangle art. So if we just do... Does it want us to do everything? Are we commenting everything down?
It's just the turtle stuff.
Just the turtle stuff. So we can leave the functions in, that doesn't matter. Because unless we're specifically calling the functions.
So you know you said that you can do the hash for the commenting.
Mm.
You're doing a big block. You can put 3 apostrophes at the top and 3 apostrophes at the bottom.
Can you?
And it'll just do the block. So you go the line above.
Go on, you put an apostrophe in.
Just go whoop. And where's the apostrophes? You have to do it at the bottom as well. I'm pretty sure
so
this
you would need to put it before clear, wouldn't you? Just do it stamp. So go on.
They did this in school, so I'm not sure if it'll work on this.
It does, it seems to do it. So it looks to be skipping that. Alright.
Because, because it's a thing. It's a string, so it's just not going to read it.
Alright, so now let's add the function to draw a random sized, random coloured rectangle at a random location. Alright, so we are defining a function called draw rectangle. So again, we're defining the function up at the top. So define draw rectangle. Come on, pay attention. Alright. So, oh my goodness. Can you write all that in? Yeah, go on.
That's a bit much. Can I set the screen to half and half so that I can just copy it over?
Bear with us.
Just look at it.
Alright, so one of the things it said down here, it says look in snippets.py for some help code if you want to save some time. So because we're stuck for time here, so when we've opened the project, it's got this snippets.py, so and py stands for Python. So we're gonna copy that over.
The hide turtle one.
So
The hide turtle.
Yeah. So we just highlight it by dragging the mouse over. It's highlighted in blue. Control and C to copy. Click back in the main py, and then there you go. So we've copied that code in. Alright, so what else is it asking us to do? Go and read that.
Just doing
No, read it.
Add the
read
following code at the bottom of main.py to call your new function.
Yeah, so we're calling the function.
So we're just going to do draw a
Yeah.
rectangle and then we're going to do a set of brackets.
Alright, so we're going to call the function. So draw rectangle brackets. Alright, so have we done?
You haven't got brackets and you haven't got a colon.
Do I need to? Yeah, I do.
Brackets and a colon.
So it's just about repetition, isn't it? Once we've done it a few times, we'll remember to do this. So now, still doesn't like something. Indentation error. It's the fact that that's gone in too far. Hide turtle was indented too far. So now if we run it. Alright, so.
And it clears at the end.
It clears it at the end, doesn't it? So.
Where's the clearing it from?
It's down here, isn't it? So if we were to take the clear command out,
then it wouldn't.
It wouldn't clear it, it'd leave it on the screen.
We can do something about filling it next.
I don't know.
Oh no, it is filling.
We need to read the project, don't we?
We didn't let it fill because it cleared too fast.
Run your script a few times to see the height and width change. So, is that right? Is it gonna... It does change, it's random.
I think you could set the colour to random.
Because if we look at it says hide the turtle, so it's not displaying the turtle. The length and the height are a random integer between 10 and 100. And then begin fill. So again, these are all, we're just calling functions, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can run that over and over, can't you, with a loop?
Possibly.
Probably change the colour using our function that we made for the random
colour. I mean, if we were to, I don't know, I'm not, would that work as a thought? No, it doesn't.
No, because you need to do like the colon. Yeah, you need to do a colon.
No, do you know what?
For I in range.
So, for I in range.
I'm just looking at the code that you've done before. Indent.
It needs to be indented.
Took us a moment to figure that out.
Because is it running it in the set? Alright, we need to stop improvising and just follow the project, don't we? Alright, so I'm sure that we can come back and do more for loops later. So what does it say? Okay. Run your script a few times to see the height and width change. Have you got a headache?
A bit.
Okay. We won't have any more screen time today.
Why?
You've got a headache. The rectangle is always the same colour and starts at the same location. Now you'll need to set the turtle to a random colour and then move it to a random place. Hey, didn't we already create a function? So, what we can do is we go draw a rectangle, and then we do random.
I think it's just because it's stuffy in here.
Place.
So we've not got any windows.
Is the window not open?
You took my drink off me and the
random.
It's very small.
Colour. Alright, well we're nearly done now, aren't we? Okay, so what have we done there? What have we added in?
So we've added in our random place, random colour code.
So what do you think is going to happen?
So now it's going to go to a random place and set to a random colour.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Your fingers crossed. And then we could probably...
Black. Oh my god, it didn't work, John.
It's your faulty code.
Alright.
I didn't code that, you coded it. Is it because they've put it in the def?
Oh, they have, haven't they? So we call it in the function.
You can just drag that.
So we go.
Okay, you could have just dragged that.
Okay. So do I put it here?
Just do Control Z, and then you can drag it. Or just Control V because it's so good.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've got a bit of a headache now as well.
It's because it's stuffy in here and I don't have a drink.
Alright.
Took it off me and the window's shut.
Alright. Don't bear.
No, mine's in
Yours there. Okay, so run. Oh. What have we done wrong?
Is it because it's not doing it multiple times or something? do something upstairs again.
Alright, let's do... So, I mean, it talks about doing it once, doesn't it? And it's certainly adding it into a random colour. I think it's doing what it should be. I think what we've done is we've done it so that the pen's permanently down. I think it's doing what it's supposed to. So let's do it so that it's pen up, and then it talks about putting it into a loop. So let's do that. So now let's call the draw rectangle in a loop. And that's what we did before. So
yeah,
we
do. Put draw rectangle in a loop now.
So we create a for loop for I in range.
Don't forget your
colon, and then we'll indent draw rectangle. Run. So there's one.
That seems to have fixed it now.
Right. I think it was doing what it should be doing. It's just the fact that we set the pen down. Yeah.
That's cool. I think we've accomplished something today. We've accomplished what the program's going to do.
No, it's starting to get complicated, isn't it? So, we're looking at defining functions.
It's done 4 shades of green.
Defining functions, calling libraries. We've looked at data types like random integers. We're looking at for loops. Have I repeated myself there? I think we're starting to get quite...
Oh look, 2 of the same colour. That's probably going to be rare because of the amount of colours that you can get from it. And the same purple place. And
do you know why the project's called Modern Art?
Because modern art has severely went downhill from what art actually used to be.
It's because it looks like modern art, isn't it? Alright, gosh, that's a bit slow, wasn't it? Luckily, you can speed it up. So, underneath where we define the shape...
You do turtle, you do speed. You do def, rectangle, high turtle. Is it in the def?
I think I delete the shape? I think I deleted it, didn't I?
Well, can you just put speed in somewhere? Just put speed in.
Let's give it a go. So...
Just stick speed in under there.
Do I put it under the functions?
Put it under the functions, yeah.
So we do...
Speed.
Do you know what? I'm going to do it as it's done it in the project. So I think the turtle's hidden anyway, isn't it? So
it doesn't matter
shape
what shape it is.
Turtle. An indent? Nope. Because it's not a child, it's its own. Speed 6. Oh, speed 0. Alright, so run. Still really slow, isn't it? So we do speed 10.
And then run it and it'll go like 10 speeds.
Run. Still doesn't seem...
Do speed 100.
Do speed 100.
Sneak 100.
I don't think that's really changing, is it?
No.
Speed 0 is the fastest.
Oh, is it because
or you can use numbers from 1 slow to 10 fast. Experiment until you find a speed you like. Maybe we've just defined it in the wrong place. Should we change it so that it's before the function?
Maybe it's reading it in the code.
Let's try it up here. So we'd put it here, stop, play. Yeah, so we'd done it in the wrong place. It needs to be in the head.
I'd say set it to like 4.
Yeah, set it to 4 and see what happens. So in here as well, I think it sets the turtle to be invisible or hidden.
Yeah, it does. It says hide turtle.
Where does it say hide turtle?
Hide turtle. In the def there.
Right,
hide
so
turtle.
if we actually take that function out, we can see the turtle.
You should have just commented it out. Wait, because we have...
Yeah, John's right. So we can come back and do it. We do comment it out.
I think, yeah, set the speed to 4.
Alright, so set the speed.
I think it looks cool with the arrow in it.
Stop.
Can you set it to go infinitely?
So that's 4.
I'd say that's normal speed.
Infinite? I don't know. So if you were to do...
Just do with a bunch of 9s.
No, I mean then it wouldn't be infinite, would it? Why if we set it to 0? There's going to be something that you can say that sets it to...
Infinite.
Alright, so 0 isn't it?
You haven't run. Yeah, you didn't run it.
I think we did.
You didn't press run.
You did.
Oh yeah, you did.
Didn't do anything. 3.
Just gonna do 3 though.
There you go. Okay.
It's cool how you can draw with this program.
It is. The turtle library is good, isn't it? And what we could do is we could somehow figure out. So we've got those little cards with the pens in. I'm sure you could somehow figure out how to get Turtle to draw with the cars on paper, but we'll come back and look at that another time. So, challenge, more modern art.
Wow.
Can you create a function that draws a shape and calls your random colour or random place? Now, we've only got 5 minutes left, so I'm not going to go into this, but if you're watching this, carry on and finish the project off. And when you've done it, get your parent or guardian to send us a link so that we can see what you're up to. And you can do that by using the share option at the top of Trinket and just clicking link. So then it gives you a unique code
that you can copy. And anybody can be able to see your project.
So if I open a browser that we've not done the project in, we should be able to open it. Go away, adverts.
I hate the adverts on that.
Alright, let's just go back and have a look. So, go back.
Copy your link.
Copy your link.
By pressing
Control and C.
Or on mobile, you just press copy.
Well, they can't use mobiles, can they, matey?
Don't know, depending on whether they're...
Alright, there you go. So this is a browser that we've not done the project in, but we've copied the link. Come on, what are you doing? So...
And it's there?
It's copied it, and
although
we can
it's
see.
A bit slower.
I think that's just because it's Internet Explorer, isn't it? And Internet Explorer is rubbish.
Alright,
so...
to Microsoft Edge now.
I'm really pleased. I think we've learned a bit of Python there. So
yeah, that's quite a bit that I didn't know.
Hopefully we'll do another one next week. Yeah, we will, because we're not away next week. So see you guys next week at 4 o'clock. Get your parents to send us a link, show us the projects that you're doing. Alright, see you all next week.
Bye bye.